placing the two of you together. Do you and Man DC have anything in common outside of this movie? No, I don't really know him at all. Alright. You understand what I mean, to be honest. You know what I mean. He's not like my homie, but we're not exactly cool. That isn't the case. And here we are, after he was cast in a movie. Tamar, I was never at ease with the relationship you and Mondays had in front of me, which was part of the issue with the whole situation. Alright. That's all. You were sitting on top of him in your booty shorts throughout the song video. Every time we got together, he would meet us at restaurants. I felt really uneasy. I'm going to tell you something completely insane, so sit down. Allegations of adultery, STIs, weird de novo with receipts longer than a CVS receipt, and Young Dandy Smith prepared to take on the entire internet, are all here. We're going to plunge all the way in, chilly, so grab your food, lock your doors, and set your phone on Do Not Disturb. This tea is hot. Mendices Harris has reportedly been moving wildly and recklessly, and the streets are claiming that he got caught up with Tamar Braxton of all people. I can't emphasize it enough. Yes, that Tamar, the one with the drama, the voice, and the whole thing. It's a complete disaster now. Generally speaking, I've always thought about a company that paid me. That's why I always think, oh, girl, whenever I see DC out. What's the girl's name? Angie is married at MTK. I've also seen them in a few other locations. Well, and I also got some photos. Normally, I just keep my mouth shut, but you made a serious effort tonight. I didn't tell you anything. How can you want to cheat, and be afraid your husband would find out? Tonight, you just caused a lot of trouble. Someone might become uncomfortable. Everyone is being exposed by Deneva. Young Dandy is furious. As if her life depended on it, Tamar is rejecting everything. Mendy apparently acknowledged the entire situation, and exacerbated it by accusing Tamar of infecting him with a sexually transmitted infection. With these folks, I can't. Alright. So after Groovy Deneva blasted him, Mendy supposedly finally admitted to playing around with Tamar. Now, a typical individual would have simply expressed regret, asked Yandy for pardon, and vanished into you mean witness protection for a few months. Incorrect. The streets indicate that this man chose to aggravate the issue by accusing Tamar of giving him a sexually transmitted infection. You've already acknowledged cheating, sir, and now you want to fuel the flames even more. And pay attention, Young Dandy. Young Dandy is furious, I see. And convey it. Let's tell it all if we're going to. Do you want to know why I didn't get out of the car and accompany Tamar upstairs when we returned to her house, given that she was hosting a party for a friend's birthday? Due to I assumed they wanted to be up there alone after she and Mondays finished kissing in the back of that fucking car. I didn't go upstairs when we were dropped off at Tamar's place because of this. You were sitting on his lap in that goddamn Uber, so I got in my stupid car and drove home. Rumor has it that she is threatening Tamar by calling out Mendez everywhere. Yes, intimidating her and essentially making fun of the whole thing in public. But can you really blame her? Imagine learning that your man supposedly went out with Tamar Braxton and got busted. There is an enormous amount of disdain. While the internet is creating memes, Young Dandy is having the worst week of her life. It's disorganized. It's disorganized. To be honest, it's becoming more and more messy. Let's now discuss Miss Tamar Braxton, as it is purported that she is the source of our current predicament. There are rumors circulating that Tamar underestimated the petty nature of Funky Denver when she made some sly remarks about him some time ago. We'll claim that didn't occur. We're going to sit up here and say that Chris got up and left after he finished poking between your thighs at that roof. Y'all, I can't. He's just my friend, they said in the lavatory. He's just a friend of mine. I am unable to. Then I remarked, Tamar, isn't he married? He's not married. When it comes to his reputation, Funky doesn't play. You come for him, honey. He will return with Google Earth coordinates, timestamps, receipts, and your mother's maiden name. Tamar supposedly believed that she could keep things going by throwing a little shade. Incorrect. We're here watching the circus, after Funky decided to spill all the tea. Develop in real time. But hold on, things improve. In an attempt to cleanse her identity, Tamar stated on the Morning Hustle radio show that she hardly knew Mendy. I don't even know him like that, girl, she said. The fans instantly displayed old photos and videos of Tamar and Mendy hanging out. They appeared to be really at ease and were laughing as if they were best friends. Oh, so we're lying now, the internet remarked, completely undermining her denial. Will you sit up in my face? Will you sit up in front of me with your three faces and tell me that you and Mondays did not discuss him releasing a statement regarding his and Yendi's separation at that table in Roof Chris? Will we actually do that? No, you have to go back and rewrite it to kind of make it sound like it's you, he stated after he completed a version of the letter on ChatGPT. We're going to claim that didn't occur. When there is video proof of you two getting along, you can't say you don't know someone. Now hurry up. We have Google tomorrow. We possess archives. Accordingly, and this comes from An Mendez is now asserting that it was only a one-night stand, according to a source who is purportedly close to the case. One night of bad choices. He reportedly informed folks that he was sorry, that it was an error, and that it was meaningless. Alright, great. My buddy, you still cheated. One-night stands are still considered infidelity. If you only perform it once, you don't receive bonus points. However, things worsen after that. He allegedly began asserting that Tamar had not previously informed him of a medical condition. He's acting like a victim now, as if she hadn't told me. It was you, sir, who chose to cheat on your wife while you were married. Will you want to cheat and be afraid that your husband will find out? Let's not pretend that you are the victim in this situation. The boldness. We recently received real-time notification that we had received several receipts. We did assure the child that she would remain anonymous. He blocked her today, so he knows who she is. Post the block receipt. That was just quick. Additionally, she received her receipts prior to my request that she give a snapshot of the direct messages, which she did. So allow me to raise mine. We received the voice message then. Please give me a moment. He acts rather badly in the next text. He responds, I can't even front no more. I'll let you have it. She responds, I'll let you have me. He responds, we'll see. She continues, I will. By the way, she's from North Carolina. You know, you be occupied. So you don't want me, she asks after that. Then he says, I do. Of course. Now, I'm not one to spread rumors. In fact, that's exactly what we're doing right now, but the streets have reportedly been chatting about Tamar for a while. Rumor has it that she's been living her best life, staying involved in the social scene, and some people even say she takes preventative medication for certain situations, if you understand what I mean. Again, these are rumors, we don't know if any of this is true, but the streets are noisy right now, and whether it's true or not, the story is out there and spreading faster than wildfire in a dry forest. Chile. The internet is unbeaten. This is where things get really hot. So, everyone is wondering why Mendes would admit to any of this in the first place. Apparently, Funky Deneva has some serious dirt on him, like, we're not just talking about regular tea, this is some deep, dark, career-ending type of information. When I woke up the following day, I received a text message at 10 in the morning from Tamar asking for Dr. Heavenly's phone number. I didn't give it much thought, because people frequently ask me for Dr. Heavenly's phone number. Usually, this happens when someone has an emergency veneer situation. The next thing I know, people are sending me this online story about a woman who nearly died and was lying in a pool of blood. The streets are claiming that Funky is essentially blackmailing Mendez by threatening to expose whatever he has. And Mendy just confessed to the affair in order to prevent something worse from coming to light. If you are familiar with Mendez's past, you know that he has been involved in cheating scandals before, but this time it seems like the stakes are much higher. This is where things get a little murky, and I need you to keep in mind that these are just rumors and speculation. However, some people are allegedly hinting that there may be even more serious allegations involving Mendy that haven't yet been made. We don't know what they are, and we don't have proof. Getting louder. Some people believe that Funky Deneva is sitting on information that could blow this whole thing wide open. Again, this is unconfirmed, but when there's smoke, there's usually fire, and there's a lot of smoke right now. So, let's go back and discuss why Funky Denver is even involved in this drama. Funky allegedly felt that Tamar publicly embarrassed him and made him look bad in front of his audience. You see, there was an incident where Tamar claimed to have been attacked, and some fans began speculating that Funky Denver was involved. Emerged quickly and declared, "Definitely not. I don't know what transpired after I dropped her off in an Uber." But Tamar allegedly kept making comments that implied Funky was lying or involved somehow. And that's when he decided, "Oh, you want to play? Come on, let's play." Funky essentially replied, "You tried to make me look crazy," at which point he began dropping bombs against Tamar and Mendez. Let me demonstrate what insanity actually looks like. In all honesty, he has been delivering ever since. This is where Funky really began to lay out the receipts. He claimed that part of the issue with the whole thing was that he was never at ease with the relationship that Tamar and Mendy had in front of him, from her sitting on top of him during the music video shoot to him meeting them at restaurants every time they got together. If we're going to be honest, let's tell it all. Funky explained why he did not get out of the car and go upstairs with Tamar when they returned to her house following the party. When they were dropped off at Tamar's house, he didn't go upstairs because he assumed they wanted to be up there in private. Instead, he got in his car and drove home because Tamar was sitting on Mendy's lap in that Uber and they were kissing. Funky claims he saw them making out in the backseat of an Uber, and this is after Tamar threw him a birthday party, after they all hung out together, after she pretended everything was normal. The following morning, at 10 o'clock, Tamar texted Funky for Dr. Heavenly's phone number. Now, according to Funky, he didn't give it much thought at first because people frequently ask him for Dr. Heavenly's number. Usually, this happens when someone has an emergency veneer situation. However, the next thing he knows, people are sending him an online message in which Tamar claims she nearly died and was lying in a pool of blood. That timing is suspicious, really suspicious. One night, you're making out with a married man in an Uber. The next morning, you're asking for an emergency dentist. Suddenly, you're claiming you Funky described even more specific details about what he saw, saying that one night they were at Ruth's Chris, and Mendy's was rubbing between Tamar's thighs under her dress at the table. When Mendy's got up and went to the toilet, Tamar allegedly said she couldn't. He's just her friend. Then Funky asked, "Isn't he married?" Tamar allegedly replied, and his not Funky claims that while Mendy was allegedly rubbing her thighs at a restaurant table, Tamar was sitting there telling him that Yang Dandy and Mendy's entire marriage is fake, that it's just for the show, and that they're not really together. The level of disrespect to Yendi is astronomical, and it gets even more specific. Funky says that at that same table at Ruth's Chris, Tamar and Mendes had a whole conversation about him putting out. Mendes claimed to have written a version of the letter on ChatGPT regarding his and Yendi's breakup. Tamar apparently laughed and urged him, "No, you have to go back and rewrite it to kind of make it sound like it's you." She denied the affair once more, made some cunning remarks that suggested Funky Denver was lying, and even claimed that they were using artificial intelligence to plan his breakup statement together while dining at a restaurant. The audacity is astounding. So, just when we thought things were settling down, Tomorrow goes on the morning hustle and reignites everything. Funky supposedly released even more tea after this interview, saying, "Oh, you want to scare me with lawyers? Girl, why would you poke the bear? Put a wager. I'll show you what else I have." Silence might have been a wiser course of action at this point, sis, and let's not forget that additional purported receipts suddenly began to fly. It seems like Tamar is constantly attempting to defend herself, but each time she speaks, it only makes matters worse. About Yang Dandy in all of this because, according to insiders, she is furious. Consider what she's going through. Her husband is accused of cheating, and after admitting it, he blamed the other woman for giving him something. The other woman claims she doesn't even know him. The internet is creating memes. Now, there's talk about ChatGPT breakup letters, restaurant thigh rubbing, and Uber makeout sessions. Everyone is losing, and the internet is devouring it. However, if she takes Funky Denver to court, in the event that Tamar pursues legal action, we may learn far more than anyone anticipated. This is because, in discovery, Funky would have the legal right to present all of his evidence, receipts, and proof. Everything he has been withholding would come out in court documents and public record forever. And that's assuming he doesn't have even worse information he hasn't shared yet. Keep in mind that there is a theory circulating that Funky is sitting on something big. Something that made the timeline is as follows. Tamar and Mendy are allegedly having a relationship. Funky is allegedly watching it, but keeping quiet. Tamar is allegedly making remarks that implicate Funky in her accident. Funky becomes irate and begins to drop receipts. Mendes is allegedly admitting to the affair. Mendes is allegedly throwing Tamar under the bus with STI accusations. Tamar goes on the radio, denying everything, and the internet is pulling. Yendi is caught in the middle of all of this, with her marriage being scrutinized online, and her husband allegedly admitting to cheating. It's a mess, a complete and total mess, with Funky dropping even more tea, and now possible lawsuits. The worst part is that we're probably only seeing the tip of the iceberg. If Funky really does have more information, if there are really worse allegations waiting to come out, this situation could get much worse before it gets better. Where does this leave us? Tamar is denying, Mendes allegedly admitted and then blamed her. Yang Dandy is enraged, Funky is dropping receipts, the internet is watching, and there may be more tea waiting to spill. The other woman is denying everything while receipts indicate otherwise, and now there's talk about medical conditions and preventative medications, as well as ChatGPT breakup letters. The disrespect, the utter disrespect. One thing is certain, this situation is far from over. Whether it ends in court, or just fizzles out, we're going to be talking about it for a long time, because you have a situation that the internet will never forget when you have cheating allegations, STI accusations, Uber makeout sessions, restaurant thigh rubbing, fake marriage claims, and ChatGPT breakup letters all in one scandal. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button.